Hey guys, so today I'm doing a pretty requested video. It's the Draw My Life video. I love watching these videos and you learn a lot about people, and I am only 15, so not a lot has happened, but it was requested and I decided why not. And I am sorry in advance for my illustrations. I am not the best artist. So yeah, let's get started! So my life begins on October 29th, 1997 in a little city called Las Vegas in Nevada. And that's when a little Jessie was born, and that's me with my little hair. I was born into a loving family with my dad and my mom, and I was their first child, so I was kind of a big deal, and that was my little family. Oh, it's so cute, so cute. I don't remember a lot from my early childhood, but I do remember that my grandparents were always there, and they were always a big part of my life, and they still are, and I love them very much. I was always a happy baby and always smiling, and I hated to wear hats. I don't know, my mom always tried to put hats on me and I always took them off. But when I was just 10 days old, I got chicken pox, and the doctors in my family were really scared because I was so little and I didn't have a strong immune system. They didn't think I could handle it, and they were really scared I was gonna die. So that was really scary, but I made it. Obviously, I'm here, so it was all good. Then, just 2 years later, my mom decided to have another baby, so that is her with her big belly, and I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure we were all excited for the new baby. And on November 19th, 1999, what do you know, my baby brother Jake was born, and I always liked Jake. I was never really mean to him when he was a baby. I guess when my mom used to breastfeed him, I would sit next to her and breastfeed my stuffed animals, so I always liked him, but now I don't really like him that much. So then I had my nice little family with my dad, my mom, and me and my little brother Jake. And we also had 2 dogs, Molly and Foxy, and we were just one big happy family. But you know the saying, all good things must come to an end, and sure enough, after that, we sort of started to have problems. My dad had to work a lot, and I remember never seeing him because he would have to work really late and leave really early, so that caused problems, and they did shelter it from me and my brother, so I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember that they were always unhappy, and I heard fights with them, so that happened. And then when I was 5 years old, they got a divorce, and I don't remember a lot of it. I remember them telling me, but that really changed me, and it affects my life still to this day. So after that, me, my mom, and my brother moved to a smaller house, and it was just the 3 of us and my dog Molly, and it was just the 3 of us, and I really loved that house. I still love that house to that day. It's my favorite house we've ever been in, and I was really happy at that time, but I barely saw my dad. We saw him like every Tuesday, and I never saw my other dog Foxy either, so that was kind of hard. So as this was all going on, in preschool one day when it was 3 o'clock and we were let out, my parents both forgot me and my brother at school, and we stayed there for like 2 hours, and I still remember it to this day, and I just thought it was really funny. So even though I was really happy in that house, my mom was not very happy. She was just sad and lonely, and she struggled raising us by herself, and she struggled with money and all that kind of stuff, but she kept strong, and she's the best mom ever, and I couldn't have asked for a better mom, so. From kindergarten to 4th grade, I went to this little school called Maryhill, and I had so many friends there, and I seriously loved it there. That's where I grew up. All my memories are from there, and I seriously loved that school. 1st grade, I met my first best friend, Molly, and that's me with little bob and bangs. It was cute. And we were best friends for about 6 years, but we ended up going to different schools, so we unfortunately grew apart. In 2nd grade one day is when everything started to look up for my little family, when one day my mom was at work and she met this really tall guy named Pat, and what do you know, they fell in love. And a year later, they got engaged and they got married, and they got married on a really, really pretty beach in San Diego, and I was the flower girl, and that was really fun. And then I had a whole new family. Pat had 2 sons named Evan and Ethan, and they became my stepbrothers. So I had 3 brothers, and that was my new family. And at first I didn't like Pat at all because I wanted my mom all to myself. And yeah, I never really liked him, but you know, I learned to love him and I love him today. So it was okay. And we also had my dog named Molly still, so. And Pat and Evan and Ethan introduced me to this cool little place called Dumont where you can ride quads and dirt bikes, and that is where I found my love for riding quads and dirt bikes, and I still ride them today, so that was what we always used to do for fun. In 5th grade, my dad moved me and my brother to a really, really big, hard private school, and I absolutely hated it. I would come home every day and cry and just want to go home, and actually the first couple weeks of school I sat by myself at lunch and cried because I hated it there and I missed my old school so much, and I never learned to love that school. I hated it all through middle school, but you'll find out about that in a little bit. In 5th and 6th grade, and really my whole time at that school, were really, really hard for me. I didn't have a lot of friends, I got bad grades, I had low self-esteem, I was just always sad, and I just remembered I'd always want to go home, and I'd cry every day. Those just were not my years. After about 3 years at that school, I finally met my first real friend, and her name is Angelina, and we instantly became best friends. We're basically the exact same person on the inside, and we are still best friends today, and I love her. Going back a year, in 6th grade, my whole life was kind of rattled when one day when I was home alone, I walked in and my dad was having a seizure in the kitchen. That was probably the most traumatic experience of my life. I had to run in and call 911. I was only 12. It was really, really, really scary, and it definitely changed me, and I still think about it, and it was a really, really traumatic experience. And from there, and about a year and a half later, I was just always sad. Those were just the darkest years of my life. I was worried about my dad's health, and I still had problems at school, and those were just not fun times. But something good came out of this sad part of my life. I found YouTube, and YouTube was really my escape. I found joy out of watching all these kinds of videos, and whenever I was sad, I would just watch videos and forget about everything else. And in 7th and 8th grade, I decided to make videos, and that was the best decision I've ever made. It's brought me so much joy, and I don't regret it at all, and that was really my escape. YouTube really got me through the hard times in my life, and that was when Ulta Lover 21 was born, and here I am now. Not only has YouTube helped me, but you guys have also helped me get through these times, and I love you guys so much. So after 4 years of that horrible school, it was finally time to go to high school, and I decided to go to a public high school where I did not know anybody there, and before I started high school, I decided to try out for the high school volleyball team. And I played volleyball before that, but it wasn't that important to me, and that was another one of the best decisions I've ever made. I've met so many amazing people just from playing volleyball, and they're still my best friends today, and volleyball really became the center of my life the beginning of freshman year, and I'm so happy I joined. Not only did I make friends from volleyball, but I made so many friends from my new school. I fit in so much better there. I get along so much better with all the people, and I was really shy at the beginning of the year and I didn't know anybody, but I really came out of my shell, and I am so happy I went to that school, and I've just met so many amazing friends, and I love them all so much. So that leads us up to right now. I am happier than I've ever been. I still play volleyball, I love all my friends, and next year I'm actually going to a different school, so that will be exciting. I have no idea what the future holds for me, but I do know that I'm going to continue making YouTube videos for as long as I can. I love you guys so much, and thank you for being there. I appreciate every single one of you. That was my Draw My Life video, and I hope you guys enjoyed.